Have you ever wondered why God keeps you single, even though your heart feels ready to love? Why it seems like every door closes just when you start to hope again? It's not because God forgot you. It's because He's preparing you. There's a purpose behind your solitude, a divine strategy hidden inside your stillness. You see, God doesn't waste seasons. He doesn't delay love to deny it. He delays it to define it. Because the kind of love He's writing into your story isn't one that starts out of loneliness, but one that grows out of purpose. He's not just waiting for the right person, He's shaping the right version of you. Every time He said no to what you thought was right, He was protecting you from something that wasn't meant to last. Every time He closed a door, He wasn't keeping you from love. He was keeping you for love. Because the person you'll one day meet won't just fit your preference, they'll fit your purpose. Right now, while you're questioning why you're alone, Heaven is writing a story that connects calling and companionship. God is building something sacred, not quick, not casual, not ordinary. And when it's time, the love He brings won't come to fill an empty space, but to expand the space He already filled within you. The solitude you feel now isn't punishment, it's preparation. God is using silence to strengthen your spirit. He's using distance to deepen your faith. Because before He gives you someone to walk beside, He needs to make sure you know how to walk with Him. So don't let loneliness trick you into thinking you're behind. You're not being overlooked, you're being overprepared. He's holding you back from temporary comfort to deliver permanent peace. And one day, when His timing unfolds, you'll look back and realize what felt like waiting was really weaving. Before we go deeper, check if you're subscribed to the channel, because every word here is designed to bring peace to waiting hearts. If this spoke to your soul, like this video, and comment below. I know God is holding me for something greater. Being single is not a curse, it's a classroom. It's where God teaches you how to be whole before He connects you with someone who's also becoming whole. Because love isn't about finding another half. It's about two complete souls walking toward the same purpose. You see, there's something sacred about being alone with God. It's in solitude that He clears the noise, heals the wounds, and shows you who you truly are without the need for validation. While you may see emptiness, Heaven sees space. Space where strength, clarity, and conviction can grow. Because if you skip this season, you risk entering the next one unprepared to handle the love you've been praying for. God is not withholding someone from you. He's holding you for something. He's shaping your heart to love in a way that reflects Him, not your past. He's breaking cycles of dependency, fear, and insecurity that could sabotage what He's planning to give you. Because the purpose of this time isn't to punish you with silence, but to prepare you for connection. The truth is, the time you spend alone is one of the most powerful investments you'll ever make. It's when you learn how to be content without distraction, confident without applause, and peaceful without attachment. It's where you discover that solitude with God isn't isolation, it's intimacy. He's not keeping you single so you'll suffer. He's keeping you single so you'll see Him. There's a calling over your life that requires stillness before partnership. Because when you know who you are in God, you won't settle for anyone who doesn't see it too. You'll stop chasing compatibility and start waiting for alignment. You'll recognize that divine love doesn't complete your purpose. It complements it. So if it feels like this season is stretching you, let it. If it feels quiet, listen closely. God is speaking in whispers of preparation. He's not taking too long. He's taking you deeper. Because before he gives you someone to love, he's teaching you how to love yourself the way he already does. Sometimes God has to pull you away from what you thought you needed, so he can prepare you for what you're truly called to carry. He separates before he sends. He isolates before he elevates. And though the separation can feel painful, it's sacred, because it means he's setting you apart for something holy. You're not alone because you're unworthy. You're alone because you're chosen. God doesn't build ordinary things in crowded places. He does his deepest work in the quiet, in the unseen, in the seasons where no one else is around to distract you. That's where he removes what's not meant to stay, habits, attachments, voices, and replaces them with peace, discipline, and direction. He's not hiding you to punish you. He's hiding you to protect you. Because when the wrong people have access to you, they drain what God is trying to develop in you. So he separates you, not to make you lonely, but to make you ready. He's creating distance now so that later your connection will come with discernment. You may not see it, but this season of separation is spiritual training. He's teaching you to depend on his voice, not on validation. He's showing you that holiness isn't about perfection, it's about positioning. He's setting your heart apart so that when he finally introduces you to what's next, you'll recognize it instantly. Every person he removed, every plan he disrupted, every door he closed. It all had purpose. He was pruning your path so your purpose could breathe. And one day you'll thank him for every separation you once fought to resist. Because now you can see it wasn't rejection, it was redirection. God can't fill hands that are still holding what he already told you to release. That's why he needed to empty your circle before expanding your calling. He's clearing your atmosphere so you can carry his assignment with freedom, not fear. So, don't rush out of this sacred stillness. Stay in the space he set you apart in, because what he's building in you during this separation will one day be the foundation for everything holy that's about to arrive. There's a moment in every waiting season when silence stops feeling peaceful and starts feeling painful, when the quiet gets heavy. When you look around and it seems like everyone else is finding love, moving forward, building families, and you're still standing still. And in that space, loneliness whispers lies. You've been forgotten, but you haven't. You're being formed. The ache of solitude isn't a sign that God has abandoned you. It's proof that he's still shaping you. He allows the silence because he knows growth requires it. In the stillness, you begin to hear things you couldn't hear when you were surrounded by noise. Your real thoughts, your real wounds, your real desires. That's where he meets you. Not in the crowd, but in the quiet. It's in that ache that transformation begins. Because pain has a purpose. It exposes what still needs healing. Every time your heart cries, "God, I'm tired of being alone," heaven answers softly, "I know, but I'm not done preparing you yet." He's teaching you how to find joy without a relationship, peace without a plan, and purpose without partnership. That's not punishment. That's power. You're learning to depend on his presence in ways that human love could never satisfy. Because if he gave you the blessing before, The healing you'd mistake comfort for calling. And God loves you too deeply to let that happen, so he keeps you close, sometimes painfully close, until your faith is stronger than your feelings. This kind of loneliness isn't emptiness. It's divine intimacy. It's where God strips away what's temporary so he can give you what's eternal. And when the ache finally breaks, it won't be because someone filled it. It will be because he did. So don't curse the silence. Lean into it. Because what hurts right now is what heaven is using to make you holy. If this reached your heart, comment below. God, I trust you even in my waiting. Right now, while you're wondering if anything is changing, heaven is already in motion. God is not still, he's strategic. He's moving pieces you can't see, arranging paths that haven't yet crossed, preparing hearts that don't even know they're part of your story. You can't see it because divine construction always happens behind closed doors. He's rewriting the narrative of your future in silence. He's protecting you from what would have distracted you. He's healing the wounds that used to make you settle for less. And he's preparing a love that matches not who you were, but who you're becoming. Because what he's building for you requires both time and transformation. You've been praying for the blessing, but he's been building the foundation. And that takes time. You might not see movement on the surface, but roots grow underground before fruit ever appears. Right now, your spirit is being rooted in trust, faith, and peace. So that when the blessing finally comes, you'll know how to hold it. Every delay has direction. Every silence has structure. God's plans are never random. They're rehearsed in heaven before they're revealed on earth. So don't confuse invisibility with inactivity. Just because you can't trace his hand doesn't mean he stopped working. Sometimes the greatest miracles are the ones you never see being built. He's aligning, timing, not just people. He's synchronizing growth, not just connection, because what he's preparing for you isn't fragile, it's fortified. And that kind of love, that kind of calling, takes time to assemble. So while you wait, trust that your prayers are already producing results you can't yet perceive. God's silence is not absence, it's architecture. And when it's time, the doors that seemed locked will open with ease. You won't have to fight for it, chase it, or force it. It will flow. One day. You'll look back and realize that the season you called nothing happening was actually the season where everything was coming together. He's not making you wait. He's making sure it's worth it. God isn't just preparing someone for you. He's preparing you for someone because divine love requires maturity, not just emotion. And the truth is, before God brings the right person, he refines the right posture. He teaches you how to love with wholeness, not with wounds. You see, most people ask for a partner, but few ask to be prepared. They want the connection, but not the character that sustains it. That's why God uses solitude to strip away the habits that could sabotage what's coming. He removes the fear of being alone, the urge to control, the need for constant validation, because love rooted in insecurity can't grow strong. He's teaching you that love isn't possession, it's purpose. It's not about finding someone who fills your emptiness. It's about becoming someone who loves from fullness, because when you learn to love from healing instead of hurt, you stop repeating cycles and start reflecting Christ. Every waiting season has been part of that transformation. The silence made you sensitive. The rejection made you resilient. The heartbreak made you humble, and all of it together made you ready, because now you know how to stay kind even when you're disappointed, how to pray instead of panic, how to give without losing yourself. God is refining your capacity to love like Him, selflessly, steadily, and securely. He's shaping you into someone who won't run when it's hard or hide when it's honest. He's turning you into a safe place for another soul, and that takes time. You may think you're waiting for someone, but what's really happening is this. God is turning you into the kind of person who can hold the love you've been asking for. Because divine love isn't just about finding the one, it's about becoming the one who's ready. So if it feels like He's taking long, it's because He's not rushing the masterpiece. He's sanding the edges, softening the heart, and strengthening the soul. And when it's finished, you won't just attract love, you'll sustain it. You're not being delayed, you're being developed. And that's how God turns waiting into readiness, and readiness into something holy. Somewhere out there, someone is praying the same prayer you've whispered in tears. Someone is asking God for a love that doesn't fade, a connection that doesn't confuse, a partner who understands purpose more than appearance. They don't know your name yet, but heaven does. Because God is preparing them just as carefully as He's been preparing you. They're learning to trust again, to forgive again, to believe again. They're walking through their own wilderness, learning patience, humility, and emotional strength. And though their path may look different from yours, both are leading toward the same divine meeting point. It's not just timing that God is aligning, it's transformation. You see, divine love requires two healed hearts, not two half ones. That's why it takes time, because God doesn't connect pain to pain. He connects peace to peace. He's shaping them so they'll recognize the kind of spirit you carry. And when that day comes, they won't see your beauty first. They'll feel your peace. They'll recognize that what's between you isn't chemistry. It's calling. You'll both feel it. A familiarity that feels ancient, like souls, finally meeting after being refined by the same fire. That's when you'll understand why every no before this one was necessary. Because if you had met too soon, you both would have met unprepared. God's love stories are written in silence, edited in pain, and revealed in peace. Right now, He's editing both of your stories, removing what doesn't belong, polishing what's eternal. And when He says now, nothing will stand in the way. No confusion, no delay, no fear, because the two hearts He's been preparing separately will finally find rest in each other. So don't think you're the only one waiting. Somewhere, someone is trusting God for you too. And every day that feels like delay is actually another layer of preparation for both of you. If this spoke to your heart, comment below. I believe God is preparing both of us. There comes a moment when the waiting ends, not because you chased something down, but because heaven says, now. It doesn't come with noise or signs you can predict. It arrives quietly, naturally, like a sunrise after a long night, and suddenly everything that once felt delayed begins to make sense. You realize that God was never holding you back. He was holding you together. Every unanswered prayer, every lonely season, every tear you thought went unnoticed, all of it was building something inside you, something strong, something steady, something sacred. Because the purpose of waiting was never to make you suffer. It was to make you ready. When The waiting finally ends. You'll feel it. Peace will come before the person does. You won't wake up anxious, wondering when anymore. You'll feel grounded, grateful, content. And that's when God moves, because He only releases what you're ready to receive with peace, not panic. The right person won't come to complete you. They'll come to complement your calling. They'll recognize the purpose on your life and protect it. They'll bring confirmation, not confusion. And you'll look at them and see not what you've been missing, but what God has been preparing. What comes after waiting isn't just love, it's clarity. You'll stop trying to force what doesn't fit, stop fearing what hasn't happened, and start resting in the truth that every delay had divine direction. Because when you finally meet what was meant for you, it won't require striving. It will flow. You'll feel peace where you used to feel pressure. You'll feel grace where you used to feel guessing. And you'll realize that God never forgot you. He was building your blessing in silence. What comes after waiting is wholeness. It's not just finding love. It's finding purpose wrapped in partnership. It's not about finally being chosen. It's about finally understanding you were chosen all along. So hold on a little longer, because what's coming next isn't just an answer to prayer. It's proof that the waiting was worth every second. One day, you'll look back and understand why God didn't let certain things work out. Why He let people walk away. Why every almost love slipped through your fingers. Why doors closed that you were ready to walk through. It wasn't rejection, it was redirection. God was never trying to deprive you, He was trying to define you. You see, He saw what you couldn't. He heard conversations you never did. He protected you from heartbreaks you didn't know were waiting. He was guarding your peace long before you knew how to protect it yourself. Because the truth is, He wasn't holding love from you. He was holding you for love that wouldn't harm your heart. You'll realize that every delay had purpose written all over it. The tears weren't wasted. They were watering the soil of your destiny. The waiting wasn't empty. It was equipping you with wisdom you wouldn't have learned otherwise. Because sometimes God's protection looks like disappointment in the moment, but it's mercy in hindsight. One day, the person He brings will make you say, "Now I see why it couldn't have been." Anyone else, you'll thank Him for every unanswered prayer, every door that didn't open, every season you thought was silence. Because now you understand that He was never ignoring you. He was editing your story. And when the right chapter begins, you'll see His fingerprints on every page that came before. He held you back from premature promises so you could experience permanent peace. He withheld temporary love so you could receive eternal alignment. And the waiting you once hated will become the proof of His protection. When God finally reveals the reason behind the restraint, your heart will shift from questioning to gratitude. You'll stop asking, "Why me?" and start saying, "Thank you, God, for keeping me," because He didn't delay you to disappoint you. He delayed you to deliver something divine. Now that you've walked through the silence, the solitude, and the waiting, you can finally see what God was doing all along. He never left you behind. He was leading you through a process that required patience, faith, and trust. Because the waiting wasn't punishment, it was preparation. You weren't being delayed. You were being developed. He had to slow you down to strengthen you. He had to separate you, to sanctify you. And in the space you once called loneliness, he was pouring identity, healing, and purpose into your spirit. Because before he could give you someone to love, he had to teach you to love him and yourself first. Every no you received was a shield. Every closed door was divine protection. Every unanswered prayer was God saying, "Not yet, I'm still preparing something greater." And now you understand. He didn't keep you single to deprive you of love. He kept you single to deepen your soul. You are not waiting for love to find you. Love is waiting for you to become the person who can hold it. And when God's timing unfolds, it will arrive so effortlessly that you'll know it was never random. It will not demand you to chase, prove, or perform. It will meet you in peace, because what comes from God carries his presence. So instead of asking, "When will it happen?" begin to thank him for how it's happening. Quietly, purposefully, perfectly. Because he's not just writing a love story, he's writing a legacy. And when it arrives, it won't just bless your heart, it will bless generations. If you made it to this part of the video, this message was for you. Check if you're subscribed to the channel, because here, every word is crafted to bring peace to waiting hearts. Leave a comment saying, "Thank you, God, for holding me for something greater." That's your declaration. Your way of saying, "I trust the timing you've chosen for my life." Don't forget to like this video and watch the next one appearing on your screen. It continues this same journey of purpose, faith, and divine timing. Because when God holds you back, it's only because he's preparing you for something that will never have to be taken away.